Hi, math teachers. Here we are. It is mid-October and we are cruising along. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for showing up and thank you for all of your hard work. So much is going on in your worlds and mind. And I just want to give you a quick redirect about the launch. I know for me, when I really got myself grounded before class, really had a clear plan of how I wanted things to happen and executed that in the first 10 minutes, my whole day felt more structured and less chaotic and more calm. And if you know me, you know that I can feel very chaotic and high energy. And so bringing it down and being focused and intentional really helps me guide my class periods. And I just wanted to bring you back to that simple strategy that can be kind of, I think it's the most simple things that we do in our classroom that have the most powerful effect. So what even is a lunch and how do we make that happen and why is that important? So we have our cycle one goals. We're using learning intentions to guide instructional decisions. We're using district adopted resources and we are leveraging technology and we're connecting everything we do to student lives. So those are our cycle one goals and we are almost to week 9. So we are cruising right along as we prepare for snapshot grades. Well, what does that even mean is happening in our classes? So how does that look in terms of a launch? So I will go to Algebra 2, and right now we are in Unit 4. And I'm just going to pick it up at Lesson 9 because I really loved this. This whole unit, I just loved in illustrative math. It was so powerful and helpful for me. So as I think of what is the components of a launch, I know that I have my slide presentation down here available for me, and I know I have the learning intention as the learning goal, and the learning target is success criteria. And I have this beautiful overview that gives me a bit of content. It gets me how it fits into the story of the year and the story of this unit. And this unit, I think, does such a beautiful job of making exponential functions really practical and observable, and then takes the logarithm and says, like, look, it's the same thing. We can just write it in an inverse way like this and focus on the piece that we already have in an exponent. We can look at as a logarithm and then how that graph looks. So this was like really helpful for me and helped me connect a lot of the pieces between exponents and logarithms and breaking it down. And if you're an Algebra 2 teacher, I hope that you enjoy it as well. But what are the pieces that we want to have in a launch? So we want to have something that's like welcoming and fun. Maybe I like that Bayview last year would have these like 9 little pictures numbered like 1 through 9, and then you would pick one and say why you felt that way that year, and it would be like cat memes and all these different things. It was just like so fun, and I loved how they did that and would steal them from them regularly. And so like something really quick and simple like that for a couple people to share how they're doing. Connection circles are coming, and I'd love to get you in touch with Ms. Corey Moran, who no longer teaches for the district, but is an expert in connection circles or math circles. I used to use those in my practice in the classroom. And so if that's something you're interested in integrating into your practice or for your department, please let me know. And I want to get you in touch with her because she has so much insight. And for me, that was a game changer in relationship building. And my students really loved it. So I'd strongly recommend you do that. We've got obviously our learning intention success criteria. What do we want to understand? What's the purpose and what does success look like? How do we tie that to previous learning? How do we stage our day? And how do we connect it to student lives, getting back to those cycle one goals? So like in this lesson, in lesson 9, it's very number focused to look at the patterns. But, you could talk about, like we talked about in exponents, how this exponential growth and exponential decay, how we experience that in our lives. And, the logarithm is just another way to look at that could be helpful to look at the pattern. Something as simple as that. And so if I get into the lesson, illustrative math already provides you with the structures to do a launch. And like I said, you might want to add a few more components from the slideshow or the materials to fit the needs of your school or your classroom rhythms. This one starts with a math talk, which is essentially a number talk from back in the day, and the instructional routines gives you, further big picture, like what is a math talk. But if you just follow the warm up, the lunch, and the activity synthesis, it tells you specifically how to do it, presenting one number at a time, scaffolding for our EL or learners or students with disabilities by giving them stickies if they're struggling with working memory and remembering all four numbers. And then questions that you can ask as a teacher to increase engagement and elicit more responses from students. All right here for you. So like I said before, I would modify the presentation, put that on the smartboard, and then have this either printed up or on a different laptop so that I could literally just follow it along and go through it. And I like to have it printed up so I could like write notes to myself as to what went well or didn't went well or what I want to skip, because I need like really concrete pieces in front of me to keep myself on track, just like I had to keep my agenda written somewhere in the room to keep myself on track, because I can get distracted. If you are a person who, like me, cannot hold so many things in your working memory or is easily off task, then I'd recommend, that physical paper and keeping an agenda on a tear off sheet or whiteboard or chalkboard in your room so that you have it to guide your day. But then, again, tying back to that launch and learning intention success criteria, you've got all of these tools to really ground you and focus you, because we know that when students have a purpose, when they understand why they're doing what they're doing, then it sticks in their framework. And I think the launch is the most important place where we do that to set students up for success and ourselves up for success in the day. I remember reading that the first 10 minutes of class, students retain the most amount of information. And so I think that's why it's so critical that we talk about, quick review. What did we do? What are we doing today? And then where are we going? So that is the launch in a nutshell. And I'd love to hear how you build your own rhythms or tools and tricks that you have to engage your students. And if it's something that you hadn't thought about, what are the routines that you want every single day, then reach out and I can just process it with you, ask questions to help you flesh out your thinking and create a structure so that you rely on it. While your routine might be different from day to day, the structure that you follow is the same, which makes students feel safe and predictable in class, but also, just takes less guesswork out for you. So thank you for all you do. Hang in there. Please let me know how to support, whether it's understanding the materials, pacing, this idea of a launch in terms of learning intention success criteria. We'll be transitioning to formatives, grading practices, and that closure piece, like checking for understanding. How do we know if we did it or not? And I am so excited to be back here with you. And I just can't wait to touch base and hear about how you're doing. And take care. Be well.